channel. It's finally here. My name is Rita. You can call me Ritz. You can call me Rita B. Call me whatever you want. We are friends now, okay? Today, I'm going to be doing my everyday makeup tutorial for you guys. It's mostly for my oily skin girls because I have very oily skin. So this is like my matte and poreless airbrush look. Like that kind of look where, you know, if you see me in person, my makeup is going to look bomb, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy. Like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what you want to see in the future. I'm down for anything. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna become friends. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do it all on my channel. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. That was perfect. So first, I'm gonna start off with moisturizer. I'm using the Chanel Lay Lift Cream. This I got in a sample. This is my third time trying it, so it does the job. It moisturizes me. Yeah. Okay, so after I moisturize, I put setting powder on my T-zone because that's where I get the oiliest. And I start with my eyebrows first, and I kind of let my nose bake while I do my eyebrows. So for my eyebrows, I'm going to be using two products. I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty eyebrow pencil in dark brown, soft black, and I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow in Ebony. So I start with an outline of my eyebrow first. I outline it first, and then to get that ombre effect, I go in with the Dipbrow, but at the end, or like the tip of my brow. After I apply the powder, I kind of dust off a little bit of it. I apply powder on my brows because after I moisturize, all of the oils from my skin and from the moisturizer can really mess up your brows while you're trying to apply the product. So I just want it to be as matte as possible so that the product that I use for my eyebrows can be applied evenly. Now I'm just brushing up my hairs. Pencil is good if you want a really natural brow. Sometimes I usually draw my brows really dark, but this is good if you don't want that. If you want it to be super natural, and you can just do like little fake hair strokes. For something super quick and easy, you can just do that and go. Just outline your brows and just go. But I think today I'm gonna outline it and then put a little bit of the Dipbrow from like here back because I really want that ombre effect. So now I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow. I'm gonna lightly tap the brush on the inside of the Dipbrow because I don't want too much product on the brush because I don't want my eyebrow too dark. And then I'm just going to lightly fill in the end of my brow. Then using the product that's already on the brush, I'm just going to fill in the other side. Now I'm going to clean up my brows with some concealer, and I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Cool Tan. I just start off at the bottom. I usually start with the ends of the brow first, conceal that, and then work my way towards the front. Okay, so after my brows are done, I dust off the powder that's left over on my forehead and my nose, and then I go into foundation. So the foundation that I'm using is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation in the shade 110 or Cream Cafe. This is my go-to drugstore foundation. It's really good. It gets really matte really fast, but not matte to the point where it won't be blendable with other products and it won't feel too dry. Now I'm going to go in with the second concealer, which is the Fenty Beauty Concealer in the shade 310. And I'm going to apply it to the same areas that I applied the first concealer. And I'm going in with this lighter concealer to kind of highlight.
Can you give me another beat? I can't rap to this.
After my concealer is blended, I go in with setting powder. If you can, try to set right away. I have creases under my eyes, so I try to set as soon as I finish blending out my concealer. And I set every area that I concealed with. I try to start off with a light application first, and then I bake. So I kind of blend in the setting powder first, and then I go in with another layer. Don't forget the corners, the inner corners of your nose. And even though I didn't put concealer on my nose, I'm still going to bake on the bridge of my nose because that's where I get oily, so I want to make sure that I put as much powder on my nose as I can because that's where I get oily first. While I bake with setting powder, I start to set my foundation, and I use that with pressed powder. I use two different powders. You don't have to use two, it's very optional, you can use one or the other. I use a drugstore one and I use a high-end one. I use two because I get really oily and I really want a matte airbrush finish on my face. So I use the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder in 330 Toffee Caramel, and I use the Macc Dark Mineralized Skin Finish. I'm going to start with the Macc Mineralized Skin Finish first because it's a little bit closer to my skin tone. And the Fit Me one is a little bit lighter. It's like a shade lighter.
Can you give me another beat? I can't rap to this.
After I set my foundation with the pressed powders, I go in with contour, and I use the Black Radiance True Complexion contour palette. I use both colors. This is the only contour palette that I've ever used since I started doing makeup because it's so good. And I kind of just swish my brush around to both colors, and then I start contouring in circular motions on my cheeks, my forehead, and under my jaw. Please excuse these disgusting pimples that, of course, want to dust off whatever powder is on my nose and a little bit between my eyebrows, and then I'm gonna contour my nose. So to contour my nose, I use the contour shade. The sculpt shade is a little bit too light for me, so I just use that one shade, the first one. And then I kind of make a circle around the tip of my nose to get that button nose effect. I think button noses are really pretty. Kind of just go in the circle like that. And then bring a little bit of that contour under my eyebrows. Because since this is a natural look, I'm going to be using the same contour palette for my eyeshadow, and it'll just blend into the eyeshadow that I do. Make it a little bit more natural. And boom, there you go. Okay, so now I use the same palette for eyeshadow. This is an everyday makeup look, so I don't really do anything crazy on my eyes for an everyday look. So first I go in with the Sculpt color, and I put that on my crease. Then I go in with the contour shade and I put it on just like the end of my eye, and I go from like the middle of my crease to the end of my eye. I don't really use it on the entire eye, so I want it just to be a little bit darker on the end. Now I'm going to go in with eyeliner, and I use the Wet n Wild Mega Liner in black. This is also the only eyeliner I've ever used since I started doing makeup. I kind of start at the end of my eye and I extend the line out, not all the way, and then I go to the very tip of my eye right here. And most of the time your eyes have that natural line or crease, so you can just follow that and kind of meet that first line and extend it out a little bit more. So you should have like a little, kind of like a little open triangle. Go to almost the end of the line that I made, and I kind of do that, just extend that line. I'm kind of bad at explaining this, so I hope that you guys get it. And then I'm gonna go over that bottom line because I have this little dip right here. Okay, now I'm going to go in with mascara, and I use the NARS Climax mascara in the shade Explicit Black. I like to put on mascara before I apply my false lashes because see how my mascara made my eyelashes black, whereas on this eye you can, it's very light because of all the product I used. So usually put on mascara before your lashes so that it blends more. The falsies blends more to your natural eyelashes. Because if you don't, then it's just gonna look like you put on eyelashes on top of your regular eyelashes and it has like all this makeup over it. It just won't look right. It just won't, and it won't look real or realistic. So now I'm going to dust off that remaining setting powder that's still on my face. And it's still a little little bit white, so I'm gonna go in or back in with the MAC Mineralize Skinfinish powder and go over those white spots so that it's not as white anymore. If you have dry skin, I don't recommend you put on as much powder as I'm putting on because your face is, I don't know, it's gonna, I guess it's gonna crack or it's gonna feel really heavy and it's gonna feel really dry. But if you have oily skin, then you should be fine. Honestly, I like to put on as much powder as I can. So the more matte I could be, the better. Now I'm going to go in with blush. I use the Laura Geller blush. It's called Fake Blush Bali or Bali, one of them. And put it on my cheeks. And I put it on my nose. It kind of looks like a filter and it's really pretty. Too much. Then if it's too much for you, just go in with a random brush and kind of dust it off. Boom, just like that. Now I'm just going to set my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. If you have oily skin like me and you like follow everything that I did, then your face kind of feels very dry before you set it, but the setting spray kind of brings everything together and it doesn't really feel as dry anymore. So the way that I apply my false lashes is really easy. I have a mirror, any handheld mirror, and I place the mirror kind of under my eye so that I can see under my eyelashes, and then I take the false lash and I place it on top of my eyelashes, but close enough for them to blend into each other. I kind of press it into my eyelash. And then you can either use a tool for this or you can use your fingers. Make sure that your hands are clean because you are going to be putting your hands very close to your eyeballs. And you're just going to press the false lash and your eyelash together so that it sticks and that it looks natural. I'm going to kind of just bend it up. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the highlighter, and I usually use an eyeshadow palette for a highlighter. The only highlighters I've ever used are the Kylie highlighter in Salted Caramel or the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit. But honestly, if you have any eyeshadow palette laying around and it has a gold color in it, you can definitely use it as a highlighter. It's very versatile. So the one that I'm using today, or the eyeshadow palette that I'm using today, is the KKW and Mario palette, and I use this shade a lot. It's this color here. I think it's called Glam, and I use it for highlighter and eyeshadow. So I take a brush, any brush, and I just put a little bit of setting powder all over it. I use a small brush first for the little places like in between my eyes, under my eyebrows, the bridge of my nose, the tip of my nose, the top of my lips, little places like that. Then I go on with a larger brush and kind of do everywhere else on my face for highlighter. So I do my forehead, I do my chin. Sometimes I do my cheeks, sometimes I don't, because usually my hair covers my cheeks. My face is nice and highlighted. Last but not least, we are going to finish the look off with our lips. So I'm going to go in with the MAC lip liner in the color Cork, and I'm just going to line my lips. I kind of shade in my top lip a lot because I really like that look of a dark top lip and a really light bottom lip. Kind of like that, what's her name? That Kim Possible kind of lip.
Can you give it another beat? I can't rap to this.
Shade in the side. Just so that this part is kind of like the only part that's still light. Okay. And usually, if you want to, you can put a light lip color in between here, or you can just leave it the way it is if you do have a light bottom lip and just put lip gloss over it. But I found a lipstick that I really like, and it's a natural nude lipstick. It's from MAC, and this is what the color looks like. Let's see if it's gonna focus. Yeah, that's what the color looks like. And the name of it is called Impulsive. This is the Powder Kiss lipstick from MAC. And I put it in that open spot. It's a little bit darker than my natural lip color, but it's fine. So I put that on, and then I put a lip gloss over it. The lip gloss that I'm using today is the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Glass Slipper. And I just take the product out and kind of tap it onto my lips rather than glide over it, because a lot of the product comes off onto the tip of the lip gloss. So kind of just tap it on there. And then you see how there's like a lot of product there now? Wait, no. Yeah, there's like a lot of product there. I just kind of rub it off on my hands. Because if there's way too much product, the darker the product is, once you continue to dip it back into the lip gloss, it changes color. And you want it to stay clear. So try to take the product off of the lip gloss first before you go back into the tube. And there you go.